You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.
What up?
So this is a big episode.
200.
Yeah, I'm shocked you knew that.
First of all, I got to tell you, how you doing? I miss you. I don't know why. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Has it been a while?
1 week.
No, it's got to be 2 because I was in LA last week.
Yeah, but I saw you the week before
with
that.
Your fiance, so that's 2 weeks.
Well, it's not even in quotes. It is.
I like it. We had a great time, and to everybody, I feel like it's been a couple weeks for me.
Yeah, because Bryce and I were on the episode last week.
I feel I haven't done a podcast in ages.
Well, welcome back.
It feels good to be back.
You were missed.
I got to be honest, and not only does it feel good to be missed, but I missed everybody. I enjoy this. I enjoy my time doing this with you, and I got a full weekend. I had dinner with Bronny alone. We had some good sushi, and now I get the day with him. It's fucking great.
And we got a special guest here, Donald Trump.
We should have gotten our listener, Joe, to be on to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, we fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy to be Trump. I can't sound like him, the voice, but I can do what he says because he always has the same thing. If he was here, he'd go, and we asked him a question, he'd go, this is a great podcast. Or, one of the best podcasts. When I was president, this podcast was booming. It was rocking and rolling. That's what he always says. But
Joe is amazing, is he not?
Yeah, we should have gotten Shane Gillis to be our.
He was great when he did it.
Yeah.
So 200th episode. This is 200th of the regular, not including the other one.
Right.
So we have probably 300.
Oh yeah, with Patreons we have 166. Last week came out episode 166.
To the applause.
So that's
huge.
Almost 400 episodes.
That's huge.
Almost 400 hours of us.
Wow.
Talking. That is kind of crazy. It's crazy we can still keep, we can just sit down, press record, and we can just talk for an hour.
Well,
still.
Why couldn't we? We're blooms.
No, I know, but that's just crazy.
We never run out of shit to talk about. The 200th episode.
I can't believe that there are people still listening.
Well, why wouldn't they?
It's just crazy.
It betters their life.
I hope so.
No, first of all, we so appreciate those who listen.
Yeah.
Are we not? We really are.
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy that anyone even does. Remember when we started, we were like, oh, we'll just do it for fun.
Mom listened.
It'll be like our family listens and maybe like our friends.
200.
And then there are now people that we've never met. Oh, and they know us because when I know that when I listen to a podcast, the few that I do listen to, because I listen so often that I feel like I really know that person because I've heard them speak for 400 hours. That's more than I've heard. I was about to say you, but that's more than I've spoken with my fiance. We haven't spoken for 400 hours.
That's normal. When you get married, I'm teasing.
But you know what I mean? It's that's so much time. And these people have heard us, have listened to us for 400 hours.
Isn't that great?
Well, not all these people, because some have only listened to 200 hours, but those who are on the Patreon, those are the real.
And what's
homies.
amazing is that they've seen the growth and development. It's interesting stuff.
Oh my God. From where the podcast first started during COVID.
I'm talking about even just you.
That's what I mean. Our lives have changed.
I don't think my life has changed so much. I think because when you get to a certain point in your life, it's good. It's not
stagnant.
It's not stagnant. That's negative.
It becomes you achieved what you wanted to achieve, so you don't want to change.
Drastic. Your chapters are not as drastic,
and you don't want to change much because you've achieved what you want.
But there's not. But meaning, what am I going to do now?
But I'm trying to spin it in a good way. You've done what you want to do, so you are happy with it.
Correct.
You don't want to change.
But I don't think, and I appreciate that. But I don't think even need to spin. I'm just saying there's because when you get right, you reach the goal, and you want to become status quo. Right. When you're younger.
You have all of the achievements ahead of you.
So many different things, right? And you and seeing all our boys, it must be interesting to see people
evolve.
To watch people. It's like a movie, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of I listen to Chris D'Elia's podcast, and when I first started listening, he was single and just about town, all he was into was women. That's all he was doing. And then now he has 2 kids, a wife, and he lives in the suburbs. And his podcast has changed with that. And so it's interesting to have watched him change. And he started as kind of a young single player douchebag, and then now he's a father. And so I've seen that. So I guess it's similar-ish. People can, not that I was a young player douchebag, but
he's got a funny mannerism.
Well, he's just like, severely autistic.
Yeah, I like his mannerisms.
But I'm a fan of his. Yeah.
No, I agree. I like him too. Yeah.
Not the nicest guy, but I like him. I've met him a couple times.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, Tom used to work for him.
Was he a douchebag?
Yeah. The only times I met him, to be fair, was before he met his wife and he had his kid. So he was in his douchebag phase. But I do think
should
he is
not
just
be a douchebag. Should never be.
maybe douchebag is the wrong word. He just is like
I hear you what you're saying though, but an asshole.
Yeah, but I like him as a comedian.
Yeah, when you're that way, there's something wrong with you. When you're a successful comedian, you're off.
Yeah, 100%. There's something wrong with you for sure. So 200.
Yeah, congratulations to you, Bronny.
You too,
for doing this. Well,
what do you mean? It's both of us.
No, I know that, but it just isn't a fun. And everyone knows how we started. It is such a funny thing when you think about how we started. COVID was the best thing. It was one of the best things that happened to you. I hate to say that because it sounds so.
No, I mean now in hindsight, no one really. COVID isn't a bad thing anymore to anyone.
So let me say, not COVID was the best thing. COVID was the most life altering, and it was positive for our household to have you kids here and
it changed the trajectory of our family forever
in a positive way.
Yeah, certainly,
major positive.
I mean, that's crazy.
You even saying, I know it's so weird. You even saying, save room for my bag.
Yeah,
so
on the way home
from
LA.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
What went through your mind because I was hounding you all week to come, right? And that's what I do, like a Jewish parent. And you were helping me pack the car up, that was such a fun road trip. I had great time.
This was before we started the podcast.
Right, because as the first podcast I ever listened to was Serial.
Yes, on that trip.
And it's the only one I've ever listened to.
Yeah.
Right? It's the only one. Banks was so small, remember?
You got to listen to the Rogan Trump
I
podcast.
do. How long is it?
3 hours.
Who's got time for that?
You don't do it in one. Like on my drive up here, I listen to an hour. On my drive back, I'll listen to an hour.
I have a 4-mile drive to,
yeah, listen to it.
I'm going to Jacksonville
Yeah,
tomorrow.
you literally have there's plenty of time to find for it, but
all right.
It was interesting. Trump he's like his own worst enemy, and he's also interesting, and it was good to hear because he does he has a shtick that he just needs to get out from.
He'll never will.
But I think at this point, it's so ingrained in him that he doesn't even realize what he's doing when he says, "Oh, it's the best. That's the best. It's the best."
He does it all the time.
It's way worse now. But like he always does that with everything, and it's like just talk like a real person. Just talk.
Someone said there was I forget, one of our friends went out, and I want to go back to that original thing. Someone said we were out to dinner with the friends, and we're like, the way he talks about, it's the best. When I said when he got shot, it was like he goes, "I felt the best. Nobody would fall like me." You know, like it's just hysterical. But that's what people love.
No, but you'll see when you listen to this episode. At a certain point, you'll be like, "All right, just be real.
I know.
Be real."
I know. I wish all
because
of them,
he gets to it.
Wouldn't you wish all of them would be real?
But he at least gets to it. Like he starts with that. He'll be like, "It was the best. We were the best." Blah blah blah, and then he'll give you the real thought, and you'll see the real Trump. But it's like, just don't start with that because that's what the people who don't like him, all they listen to is that first part, and they're like, "Oh, he's an idiot."
But even Kamala, who I can't. By the way, I voted. I'm so pumped I voted.
I was pressured into committing voter fraud. I didn't do it, but like everyone says, "Oh, the elections are all, there's no tampering in the elections or anything." Not that this was tampering.
By the way, we know there's also, they shadow block us. We know that shit happens all the time too. I didn't believe you.
That's like indirect tampering. I feel like the Hunter Biden laptop story, tamping that down. That's influencing the election.
I think it's direct,
but it's not directing votes. Like you're not like taking this vote and making it that. I went into the voting center. I live in Miami, but I'm registered in Boca. I went into a Boca center, and they were like, "Oh," the person who first checked me in was like, "Oh, your ID says you live in Miami. Do you live in Miami?"
It was like Walking Dead. That work.
Well, it's all grandparents, but who else is going to do it? They have nothing else to do.
Some of them are mentally challenged. Some are.
Well, that's nice that they help them with that. It's not a hard job. You're just walking someone to here to here.
And I got to be so, my patience, but because.
Oh, when I went, there was 0 people there.
No, but here's the guy who's like a little mentally challenged, like he should be working at Walmart. He goes, they can ask for your ID. You're going to walk down here and.
But he's proud to have a job, and
No, I know it's common sense, and I'm like, because I'm being nice. I'm like, thank you so much, sir. Because you want to be like, seriously, but go on.
No, but you have to.
I was very nice. I'm saying I was.
She was like, "Do you live in Miami?" I go, "Yes," and she goes, "Oh, but you're registered in Boca. Do you live in Boca too?" And I was like, "I mean, I used to. It's my parents' house. I spend.
Wait,
I was like, I spend half my
You still
time
have
here.
shit in your room.
She said, "Do you get mail at the Boca address?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure I do."
Right.
So she said, "Okay, hold on," and she called the supervisor over the Palm Beach County election supervisor. Comes over. She goes, "Look, you're not supposed to vote here. You're supposed to vote where you live. So technically, you're supposed to vote in Miami-Dade County, not Palm Beach County, but." You can just tell me you live here, and I can say I didn't see your ID.
I don't think that's fraud.
I mean, it technically, literally is.
It is not fraud.
It is because it goes county by county.
Actually, your homestead is in Florida, in Miami. Remember?
And it goes county by county, right? Like
Did you file homestead for the property, the unit in Miami?
Yeah, we did all the
Okay,
paperwork and everything, right?
Okay.
Remember?
We got
Through your
check.
law office, someone at your office filed all the paperwork.
Okay.
It goes county by county, right? Like there are individual votes that they say Palm Beach County went blue, Kamala, Miami. So it's not each individual vote. It kind of aggregates towards the county. So if I voted in Palm Beach County over Miami-Dade and I don't live here, that could have affected it.
Yeah.
And she said, well, I can just say that I didn't see your ID. And I'm like, you know what? I'll vote in Miami. I'll go vote in Miami.
All right.
And I left.
All right, but you got to vote. Promise me you'll vote.
I definitely will.
Good. Yeah, I voted. I'm very. Yeah, you're a funny guy. So I'm next to mom, and I was like, she was like, I'm like, Amendment 3 again. I want to vote no on amendment. And the woman goes, so you can't talk. I go, it's my First Amendment right. I'm talking to my wife. She goes, what?
But I wonder if there's voting.
They don't want influencing.
Yeah, yeah.
I go, and you're allowed to influence.
But you're allowed. No, you're not allowed. You're allowed to talk. I guess you would be allowed to talk, but you're not allowed to pressure someone into a voting.
No, but I said it's not that big of a deal because mom answered the question. But an elderly woman, she goes, I can have a supervisor come over. I go, I'm First Amendment right. I'm just talking to my wife. I'm allowed to ask her what this is about, but it doesn't matter. So I want to go back. So what made you decide to come on that road trip?
I don't know. That was like 4 years ago.
I know, but we're talking about how the trajectory of this whole thing. It was a fun road trip.
Yeah.
Great.
Very fun road trip.
Best burger ever?
Yeah, in
Arizona.
Yeah.
I
Which
never
you
want to
would
live
never
there.
think. Oh, God.
But that was one of the sweetest hotels.
I would never live in Arizona.
Sweet hotel, though.
Yeah. But, you're in the desert. I hate the desert.
I hated where was it that had that good sandwich? Santa Fe?
No, Scottsdale.
Were your eyes burned?
Yeah.
A great sandwich.
It felt like you walk outside and it feels like you're inside of an oven.
Open oven door.
It's horrendous.
All right, so let's talk.
Episode 200. People have given us some topic ideas. None of them were pretty great, to be honest with you guys. Wow. I'll just read through them. Some just congratulate us. So I'll just read their names out and I'll do that. But
do we ever get any fatherly advice anymore?
Not really.
No. Okay.
We've solved all of our listeners' issues.
Sometimes things run its course.
Yeah, and we've just solved all our listeners' issues.
No problem,
I guess.
Yeah. Or they didn't like the advice and they left.
Episode 200 is crazy though. Very appreciative to get to this point.
You know what's the coolest thing, which I'll never really understand, be around for, but your great grandchildren could watch this shit.
Yes.
That's wild. I wish I had that about my grandfather.
I mean, it'd be invaluable, but then I also is it maybe too much? Do you want to know that?
100%. I would love. You don't think you would love to learn about my grandfather and see him?
Yeah, certainly. And to see to see him grow up would be very interesting.
Right. Okay, perfect. Right, you more than me because I'm already an adult to see your progression that your great grandchildren will see about you,
or even just my children. How interesting would it have been if I could see your, I could see you as someone in my age in their early 20s, talking about what you want to do with your life.
Why?
And then I just realized, you're my dad, and you did all these things that you were talking about, all that stuff.
And how cool!
And see their mom.
If your kids continue this.
Oh, well, yeah, that would be cool, but that would be that's a lot.
Why wouldn't they?
Well, I mean, they could also pick it up. It doesn't need to be contiguous.
No, I'm not saying us go on till Listen, I love
every week for 50 years.
I love you, but I'm going to, at some point.
That's what I mean. That's what I was saying.
But on the same token, how cool
they could pick it up.
How
pick
cool
up the mantle.
Is that?
With me, I guess it would be.
Yeah, no, who else would it be? But that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I agree. You're right. Your kids seeing this.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
And then you doing it with your kids.
Yeah.
And why?
Eventually.
Wow.
But we'll be doing it in the fucking in
Mars.
On Uranus, yeah.
On Uranus.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, who knows? Let's fucking pray.
So I can read some of the people that some of the things that people said, but Yes, just wanted to thank everyone again for 200. We're not doing anything particularly special because I also...
Do people do things special?
People do, and I don't like that. Like when I'm listening to a podcast...
You didn't consult with your partner.
Did you want to do something
Well, it
special?
would have been nice too late now.
Well, what
if I
what's
said
something
yes?
special we would have done?
I don't know. I'd ask our production department what
But I
people
asked
do.
the people what they wanted us to do,
Okay.
and they answered. They said, we want you to talk about this.
Okay.
But I don't like when I listen to a podcast that like I know what to expect every week and so I get excited. Before it comes out, I'm like, I'm excited for this hour because I know what it's going to be. And then it's, a special episode and they do a different thing. And it's like, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted what I'm expecting.
Okay.
So I thought
let's.
I was
through
giving
some
the
of these
fans
home love.
a gift by doing that,
Oh, you're so nice.
I don't even know how to pronounce some of these names, but someone said, bring Mom Bloom back.
I agree.
I don't think she'll want to be on.
She won't now because she has a slight little infection in her face. She's okay, but she won't. But it is good when Mom is on.
Yeah, we definitely have to bring her back. Once I saw that, I was like, Mom will definitely not come on now.
We got to get her on.
Yeah.
We got to get her on.
She's dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, she'll
Cosmetic
be,
stuff.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
No, she did not have plastic surgery or any of that shit. She just has an infection in her cheek.
Yeah.
And we got to get rid of that infection.
And she just doesn't want to. I
don't
imagine
want
she doesn't want to be on
She has
camera.
a Band-Aid on her
Right,
cheek.
but
I don't
yeah,
want
true. When I
people-
say cosmetic,
Yeah, I don't want people to think she had a facelift or things like that because she hasn't. But she does have an infection on her left cheek, and she's a little, which I get, stressed over it. So she doesn't want to come on.
Clayton said, top heated moments between Jon and Bron and most memorable episode.
Oh, that's a thing we could try to talk about.
Top heated moments. I mean, there have been a lot.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Not in a necessarily bad way, but there have
No,
been a lot.
but-
Like I can't even think of specific ones because, I mean, it gets heated. But that's what every father and son.
Yeah, I don't think I can a specific one, but I don't like it. But I know why they usually happen. And what was one of your greatest episodes?
Why? Why do they usually happen?
They usually happen. What's so funny?
Because
What are you gonna
you were
say?
saying that just kind of sly because you were putting it on me. You were thinking, and you said, we know why they usually happen.
It's okay.
That's how you said it.
That's okay.
Because you were saying, because Bronson usually gets all literal and
No,
gets combative and interrupts me.
The
And
interrupting is a big thing for me. But I've grown myself, which I actually I let you interrupt me. It's fine. It's no big deal. What's so funny? Because I don't like fighting with you. I feel so bad because if I was here with somebody else and I was fighting, it would not bother me. But you're still even though we're very close, you're still my son. So
Yeah.
I don't want to fight my son. I don't want to call my son an idiot. I don't want to get mean to my son because I still have to separate the father and son role. And I would never want to make you feel bad. So then I apologize. And then I go back to Mom, like, I feel so bad. I got in an argument. I said this, like, you're an idiot or this or that. Where if I said it to one of my buddies, it's no issue. But I still have to keep that separate dad-son thing. And I would never want to, because I wouldn't want my dad saying that about me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So
yeah.
So
I certainly do. I've experienced it. Yeah. But
that's a little sly thing. No,
I'm saying I've been there with you with it. But I don't like the argument.
But I'm also mature enough where I feel bad and I apologize because I never
Yeah.
want to hurt whatever.
Well, it never has been a problem. Not a single argument has ever been like a problem.
Correct. Because we love each other and we never want to hit below the belt. I don't like it.
No, and they're not even good episodes either.
They're
So
not.
it's like
They're not.
Yeah, I don't like it even for that.
So the interrupting is just a little pet peeve of mine. But what are some of the good episodes?
Most memorable episode, you always pull a specific episode out.
Oh, was it 10?
Come on, you always know.
106?
Yeah, maybe Pay Now, Play Later. You love that one.
Because it's a great one.
Yeah.
We did that together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great one.
That was like a life advice one. I think the life advice ones are probably the best because the first one that came to my mind was what most memorable episode I think for me was the episode where I moved here and I cried on the podcast. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I've only seen you cry twice.
And what's crazy now in hindsight is part of the reason why I was so feeling emotional and all that stuff was one, because it was the end of an era, but also because that was the first weekend that I met Hannah. And so I came here, I met her on that Wednesday,
right?
And we recorded that episode on Sunday, let's say. And so I met her, we hung out for the weekend,
right?
And then I came back here. Did you
regret coming back?
I don't regret coming back, but that was I remember thinking that could have been something really nice and special, but now I'm here. So that was part of, and now in hindsight.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So you were a little sad over that.
Well, it was like the loss of a multiple things. It was like the end of an era, the loss of hanging out with my friends, the loss of that part of my life, and then also the loss of that potential relationship. Meanwhile, now we're engaged.
How great is that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. Was a beautiful thing. I remember that. You don't regret moving now, do you?
No, of course not. And I didn't then.
But it was scary.
The tears were just like the emotion
overwhelming
of just realizing, oh wow, my life is just changing. I mean, I made the change, but that was a big part of those emotions was, oh, this could have been something great. I remember thinking that.
No, I get it.
But now we're engaged.
Isn't that wild?
But also it's because we made it happen.
It's wild.
Like if I just, moved here, didn't keep up with her or whatever.
It's a great story.
Nothing would have happened.
It's literally a great story that you will be, listen, not one day you tell your fictitious kid. You are going to 100% tell your kids. Isn't that wild? Like with her. That's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Another one which was so I like the ones where Mom and I've done a couple.
Yeah.
I like those. I found those. We really got to get Mom and Elle back to it. I think those are great fucking podcasts. Also the one when you said you were going to go to law school, which was interesting.
Yes.
That was a life changer.
That was a good one. I remember that one.
You just out of the blue. Now, when you decided to go to law school, is that something you said, I'm going to purposely say on the podcast? Or you, like, what made you say on the podcast?
By the time he's saying it on the podcast, I think that's
probably...
No, well, I'm saying for me, like, if I'm saying it, at least I know myself, and a lot of things I keep up in my head. Like when I think about things before I make a decision, I don't tell people just because it's up in my head. And I feel like I'm very much, once I decide, once I know I'm doing something, or once I tell people, then I'm like, oh, I know that I've decided this, because I wouldn't have I wouldn't have said it on here if I wasn't sure about it internally. And so that's how I do that with a lot of things.
Do you miss the film industry?
No.
Not at all?
No, I really don't, especially now the state of it. It's interesting too when that episode and what we were talking about why I wanted to leave the film industry, but that was before, when I moved here and officially committed to living here and quit my job in LA. One of the big reasons I talked about on the show, and I talked about it in my personal life, but I was like, the industry is on its way out and it isn't what it is anymore. And the future of the industry is not.
But it's still an industry.
It's a third of what it was 5 years ago. And in 5 more years, it'll be a shell of what it is.
But there's still an entertainment component, right? So isn't there, can you pivot?
Yeah, but
there still requires production or
but not
AI
really.
To make a whole
right,
film?
Not really.
So
there used to be, an industry where it was multiple huge companies all competing, tens of thousands of jobs and all these different things, billions of dollars, all just within this one industry. Already we're seeing that's pretty much cut in half. Most of the studios are hemorrhaging money. But this is what, right? A year ago they had the strike on these issues, right? So they literally, the entire industry shut down for a year because everyone was like, we need to figure this shit out. A flourishing industry doesn't have a strike for a year where they don't work. So that's writing on the wall. And then now post-strike, we're a year out of the strike. So it's been 2 years. And I talked to my friends who are in LA and they say there's nothing going on because none of these studios have money. And so if none of them have money, and when I literally mean Disney, that's how bad it is. So forget about the lower independent studios. The big studios have no money. And the little bit of money that they do have, they're so, they have stockholders that they can't take risks. They have to give solid investments with this money. So they're only making movies that they know they can just make a little bit of money on instead of lose money. So they're only making Marvel 25, Star Wars 18. And it's none of us want to watch those, but that's the only things that those studios will do because it's too risky otherwise. So my friends who are producers who are pitching, movies around town, they say no one is buying any movies.
Wow.
Because they can't make money on them. Or they can, but they're too afraid.
It's a tough industry.
And it was tough 30 years ago, and it's even tougher now. And then forget about all what I just said. And then also all of the production is going overseas because it's cheaper. I just saw in the Hollywood Reporter and Variety, they did an article that they said production capacity is only at 25 or 30% in Los Angeles. So that means if like it's 30% of what it used to be.
Wow.
So they said there used to be 600 shooting days a year, or like 600 sets a year or something, and now they're like 100.
So
because they're all going overseas.
For stability and family life, you're better off in what you chose.
Yeah, I saw that happening, and also forget about all of that. The AI changes the whole thing too. It's like already I can make a picture and show it to you, and you won't know it's AI. So video's
Scary.
coming, and then in 20 years, oh my God, you can just make a video on AI.
You can type what you want
and just make a full movie.
So
that won't kill the industry. There will always be a market for human-made movies. Like movies
people
didn't
can make their own movie, can write and
yeah, of course, and that's the majority of stuff you'll watch. It's like Broadway or like theater was the main form of entertainment. That's what everyone before movies existed, TV. Everyone just went to the theater and saw a play.
Mm-hmm.
Movies didn't kill theater.
Actually, it's booming. The Broadway's booming.
Yeah, but it changed it, right? Like, how often do you see a Broadway play?
I don't.
And if you do, you see it once a year? Right, but you watch TV every single day. So I think that AI TV created by AI, will be the stuff we consume every day. And then, the human movie that is really special, because why would anyone put $50 million into a movie anymore when you can make it for free on the computer? That you'll see, once a year. It'll be a special event like theater.
Actors like musicians sold their rights, right?
Yeah, actors have too. James Earl Jones sold his likeness.
Right, so I bet you they'll
before he
sell
died.
it so you could do the AI shit.
Yeah, exactly. They already have. Bruce Willis sold his likeness. James Earl Jones sold his likeness. So he scanned himself into AI and recorded his voice. And now you can make a movie with James Earl Jones' voice, even though he's dead.
He has the voice.
Yeah.
We are the beef.
So even with that, I saw the writing on the wall. But yeah, I don't even know how he got onto that. Just, talking about my pivot.
So you like law?
Yeah, I love it, actually.
Good. You're going to do
I really do. I find it very interesting.
Wow.
And there's so many different aspects. The hard part now that I'm finding is, like, I like all of these different areas of law. Like, they're all real. There are some that I know I don't like.
Like?
The criminal stuff, don't like.
Yeah, I have no desire for that either.
Like, literally no desire. Like the tax stuff, don't like.
Yep, I agree.
But like, I'm in a First Amendment class, like constitutional First Amendment law. That's fascinating.
But you're going to be doing that all in federal court.
Yeah,
Very different.
that's federal court.
Very different than state court.
Oh yeah. So that's very interesting. I'm in a copyright class, and then I'm also in an AI class that it just ended. It was like a short class. And so it was AI in the entertainment industry, legal, but from the legal side. So a lot of it was pretty much copyright law, but like the future of it, that's all federal court too. But that's very interesting. Like copyright stuff, super interesting. And a lot of it is my background.
But that's a small little niche.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like IP in general, copyright, trademark, patent.
The transactional litigation component of it.
There's both.
Right. So I'm asking.
Yeah. But a thing that I've learned through law school too is that I feel like I like both of it. So many people, and I feel like law school also, it restricts you. Just the way it's structured. It's either like a transactional track, like you're only going to be negotiating contracts and that's it, or a litigation track, you're only going to be in court. That's the way school is structured. But I feel like that's not the way a lot of firms are structured.
Actually, most lawyers do either or. I do both. Very few do. But
I like the idea of doing both.
Because
they're both interesting.
What I'm saying, but I'm just telling you, 99% of the lawyers out there don't do.
Right, they're just litigators.
They're either litigators or transactional, not both.
Yeah.
So you see me because I do contracts, buying and selling businesses, real estate.
But I like that. That's interesting.
Because every day is different.
And because you can be negotiating the contract, which is interesting, and then you can also be in court, which is also interesting.
Correct. But I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah.
That's why.
But copyright is both.
Yes, but that's why sometimes you gotta, if you work on your own, you can do different things.
Yeah, like IP, a lot of it is transactional. Cease and desist letters, contracts, licensing agreements.
Yeah.
But then a lot of it is like infringement litigation.
Listen, I have clients that are medical groups and like that, where that old employees still have, like, I have one case right now where an old employee still has on his LinkedIn showing that he's with that medical group, this, that, whatever. And that's an infringement issue. That's what, to have it removed. If they don't, then we got to sue. So when it comes time to litigating, even though I handle the corporate aspect and I do civil litigation, I don't do infringement litigation. So I have to farm that out.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm glad. So
just a lot of different stuff that's interesting. I'm enjoying
and you're
it.
going to learn it all, and you're going to see. And then sometimes your career path just takes you into a new avenue.
And it's just what's interesting. And I mean, I just like this. So not everyone likes it, but like literally every single day you're learning new stuff, and not just like kind of learning, like you're really learning new stuff. I don't know how applicable a lot of it is, but like, I feel like a lot of it is applicable. Like even, I'm in my trust and estates class, and it's like, you're learning about wills. Like that shit's really important. And every day I'm learning stuff, and it's like, this will make my life better because I'll be able to like,
yes,
what your friend is going through now with all that stuff. It's like, they're reaching out to you because you're not a, trust an estates lawyer, but you just know that stuff more than the average person, and that's beneficial to life.
Correct. Even contracts and knowing how to negotiate things. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, it's real. It's just like, this is helpful to the betterment of my life,
and
that's what it feels like. At least
it is 100%. It is. There's no question about it. So, and then I think that people that go to law school don't want to be lawyers. I think they should practice 2 to 3 years and then not be a lawyer. Because law school teaches you one aspect, but it doesn't teach you to be a lawyer.
Different thing, for sure.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that people should not, you understand what I'm saying. All right, what's another thing that people asked?
Someone said we need more Mom and Hana segments. Okay.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
We should have them too do their own podcast. Would that be interesting?
I guess. What would they talk about? Like shopping? Yeah. Some shit.
Wow, that was sexist. Go on.
But that's what they both really like.
Oh,
What would they talk about? No, honestly, like what they wouldn't talk about the election. They wouldn't talk about.
I hear you.
They would talk about reality TV and shopping. Yeah. That's what they like. Like I'm not. Wow. Someone said Drew Afualo, who's she's an influencer, but that's funny that they said that because she's an influencer who like makes fun of men. Sort of. Okay. That's like her shtick. But she blocked us years ago. Literally. She made a reaction video to one of our videos about like talking about plastic surgery. And then she blocked us. And like if I go to look her up, like I can't access any of her stuff because she fully blocked us.
You can't look at it right now on the computer.
Not from daddy issues because she blocked our account. So I can't see any of her stuff. So it's funny that someone said that because she's aware of us for sure.
That's an OG. Can I look this person? Can you look this person up? I want to see who this person is.
Let me see if I can find her reaction to.
So this was an old one?
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
So this is an OG that asked that.
No, maybe she just wanted our thoughts on this person because this person is well known.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
I think, by the way, stuff is so good.
If I look up Daddy Issues podcast on TikTok, I think her video is one of the first that comes up.
Hey, for those listening, if you're not already following my other son's Instagram, Steak Fried Bryce, you need to follow Steak Fried Bryce. He's fucking talented. It's great stuff. What's that, Bronny?
It's just funny sometimes seeing people's reactions to our videos.
I can't see these things.
I know. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Let me just. Drew Afualo, I think that's
what kind of name is that?
Yeah, I don't know. No, see, I can't. Maybe she blocked my personal too.
Why? That's hysterical. Do we have that much effect on somebody?
Okay, no, here she is.
Bronny, why do we have that much impact on somebody? Did we attack her personally?
I can't find.
Did we say anything to her?
No, she's got 8 million followers.
Why?
This is her.
I can't see. Oh my God! Why does she have all those followers?
I don't know. I don't know, but she's not a fan of us. In her thing, it says #BLM and then she/her. Just so you.
Oh God! So hey, good shout out to your fiance with that fucking.
She was in TMZ.
Okay,
and Newsweek.
Let's explain that, and then we'll go back to what the listeners want.
We talked about it with the Menendez brothers.
So she put right. So she.
But that was a Patreon, I guess.
So just tell briefly what it was.
Her mom went to high school with the Menendez brothers. She wasn't friends with them, but she remembered them going there. And Monica Lewinsky was in the class too, which is funny. So she posted a picture of the yearbook.
It was some lawyer, some random that they thought it happened.
Yes.
And
And he was
millions or
like,
something.
he said so many people were reaching out to him.
Yeah, like,
Because his name was, I forget what his name was, but yeah. Because people thought, they were like, who's Derek?
Right.
Because they thought she was zooming in on that. So she made a
Pretty
TikTok
funny
of the,
though, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, go on.
She made a TikTok of her mom's yearbook with these people in it, and it got like 25 million views. And the news,
Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah.
No, crazy.
It was the perfect time though, because it was right when Menendez were in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
So Newsweek did an article about the TikTok, which is crazy.
Yes.
And then TMZ did an article this weekend about it because the Menendez brothers are like
Possibly
probably going to be released on Monday.
But so they reached out to Hannah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It's funny.
All from her posting.
Also, you know what's scary is a producer at TMZ called her cell phone and she asked, she said, how'd you get my number? And they said, oh, we have a database of like everyone's phone numbers. So they just looked up her name and they got her cell phone number.
How do you do that?
No idea.
I didn't know you could do that with cell phones.
No. I mean, I guess it's the same thing. Like, you know how we get all these annoying ass political texts?
But they sell them, yeah.
Yeah. So like they have databases of our phone
But
numbers.
how'd they get hers? I understand that you say, I want certain urban areas, certain wealth.
No, but they probably have a database of 25 million and they search and they say, okay, we want this person's number. Is she in the database? Oh, great. She's in there.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But it's a great story. All right, go back.
So that's another one. Victoria, who's like a OG listener, she just said, so excited. Congrats.
Thank you.
She's been around forever.
Thank you.
Nikki Sloan said, Josh Sater and his fake transition. Did you hear about this?
No.
There was a guy who was on The Bachelorette. He was a male contestant on The Bachelorette. And like years ago. But then a year ago, he came out and he was like trans. And he transitioned into a woman. And he was like wearing dresses and makeup and doing all this stuff. But then a month, and everyone was like, what the? Because he was like a really masculine
It's all
looking guy.
attention, right?
But then a month ago, he came out and he was like, actually, it was all a social experiment. And I wanted to see everyone's reaction. And I'm actually not trans. It was just to get people's reaction. But it's like for a year, he was committed and he was only going out in public in dresses. And he was like acting extremely feminine and gay. So then now people are like,
you're a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, people are like, bro, you can't just say it's an experiment. If you're acting like a woman for a year, you're fucking trans. Like,
show me.
Yeah.
Weirdo. He probably did to get followers. Don't you
Yeah,
agree?
but who would dress up as a woman?
People are weirdos.
To get followers.
Let me see. People are weird. Don't you
Hey everyone! So I just wanted to talk today about an issue that we all think about, but we don't really like talking about. Is it that time of the month, or is it something I ate?
Saying, meaning he has his period.
Trans women get cramps and bloating too, just like any other woman.
Okay, so let me see.
Right.
Let me show you the before.
All right, listen. Something's wrong with him.
So this was him before.
Let me see. Something's seriously wrong with it. It's not a social experiment.
So the thing is, part of me is like,
he's an idiot.
Part of me is like, what a great troll. Like that's such a great prank because he's so clearly not trans. And of course, and he's making fun of trans people saying trans women can get periods because that's so ridiculous. So part of me is like, wow, that's such a great
How many
prankster.
followers does he have?
But then it's like, you're also just objectively so weird.
Something's wrong with him.
I don't think this is his official account.
Something's
but then
wrong with him.
I mean, like, look.
So I wanted to give you a little update about why I changed.
Like he's acting fully
So I
gay.
wanted to give you a little update about why I changed my mind about bottom surgery. I thought long and hard about this, no pun intended, and I just don't think I want to do it. I've never.
Let's see if we can find
Something's seriously wrong with him.
Announcing that it was fake. Let's see.
Now, Josh, you were on the 11th season of The Bachelorette. Which
No, not that.
I don't like him.
But yeah, apparently now, I mean,
he's fucked
look
up.
at this.
Hey everyone! So I have some really good news to share today. I just had an interview to be a house mother at a sorority here on campus.
I think maybe, I do believe maybe that the whole time he was joking. He said he just had an interview to be a house mother at a sorority. I think he might be making fun of how like predatory men transition into women and then go into women's spaces.
How stupid are women?
But also, like, you were doing this for too long. If you did it for 1 month, it's one thing. But he did it for like a year.
Can you go back to the guy who's being interviewed as a straight guy on the podcast?
No, that was after he came out, I think. I want to find a pre.
Oh my God, something's wrong.
Josh Sider. Let's see him on The Bachelorette. Let's see if he like acted even remotely gay.
Yeah, I don't know. Something's wrong with this. And it shows you what a fucking joke people are.
Can't find any of it.
All right, let's move on. He's a weirdo.
Yeah. So that's just been something that's been going on too. Not too many others. Mock elections in schools reward only for Harris voters. I don't even know what that means. The legality of Elon giving $1 million a day for people to sign his petition. Did you see that?
Crazy? No.
He started like a super PAC that he funded himself.
What's a super PAC?
Like a political group,
Okay.
but that's private. And he was saying like, I'm going to give out $1 million a day to some random person who signs up for this.
Wow.
You know. I mean,
He
I don't
can
know
do
the
that.
legality of it, but that
He
seems
can do that.
Yeah. And
Do
I don't
whatever
even
the fuck he wants.
I don't even say why that would be bad. If he has money and he wants to give it away,
Right.
who cares?
Right. It's like giving away when you go to and people give bottles of water away.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Right.
if he has enough money.
So I was in LA
Yes.
last weekend, and we had a great time seeing Burke. He's doing well. Do you speak to Burke at all?
Yeah. We text like Bryce Burke and I text almost every day.
But you guys don't
But we
talk?
just text like TikToks or memes or something.
You guys don't talk to one another? You ever
Like-
call your brother?
No, never call him.
Why?
Like last night.
don't like
Last
that.
night we were sending videos to each other.
I get it, but why wouldn't you call your brother?
I don't know.
want you to call your brother.
Look at your idiot son.
Oh man, let me say. Oh,
Bryce was at a Halloween at the club last night in a Willy Wonka Oompa Loompa outfit, and then this
Well,
was
let
what
me
your other
see.
son was doing.
That's so Burke. What's the video? I'd be miserable doing that.
Yeah.
Was that Burke and the Santa Claus?
Yeah. See that? Yeah, that's
go back
Burke
there.
and Tucker. And Santa Claus and elf outfit. Funny that Tucker's the elf.
Of course. So,
So like we send that. kind
no,
of
but
stuff.
you got to call your brother. Can you call your brother?
But I just saw him. I saw him last week, and I
No,
had dinner
you
with him.
didn't.
Yes, I did in L.A. I went to his apartment. I picked him up. We went to dinner.
Okay, so you saw him. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a good kid. I miss that kid.
yeah.
We had a nice time. I love him. He seems happy. I miss that kid. I do. It breaks my heart. I wish all my boys were here, but he seems to be doing really well.
Yeah,
He does.
He'll be here eventually.
He has to be.
Everyone makes the move.
I don't. By the way, Bron, I still don't see the whole California thing. So we went out with friends of ours. I'm not going to mention who they are. You know,
Yeah.
they live in not Santa Monica, Venice area. And they're definitely liberal, no question, which is fine. And more of that hippie, laid back, which is fine. And we love them. So we're having breakfast in our hotel, which is a nice hotel at proper. It is nice. Very expensive. Everything's so expensive. It's absurd.
Yeah,
Not to mention that still every 2 of 3 stores are out of business. It's still, no, I mean, literally out of business. There's paper on the fucking windows of every store.
yeah.
Okay. So we go to breakfast, and it's like $240 for the 4 of us. Breakfast. Okay.
Yeah.
They're telling us they're moving. He shows me his mace on his keychain. They're moving to like the Montecito area because the homeless and crime.
Yeah.
They're telling us they've been living there their whole life. Okay. They can't walk. They can't go to the beach anymore. The homeless with the machetes, they say they had the drug,
Yep.
the mental illness. These are people that are diehard California people, diehard liberal, and they're telling us that they're worried about the safety and they can't live there.
Yeah. Burke texts us that. Speaking of Burke talking to us, Burke texts me and Bryce all the time about when he sees homeless people. He'll say, yeah, like this one, he says, I just walked by a shirtless homeless midget. But he'll say, like, I just walked by like a guy with a machete. Like
Yeah.
that. It's
Okay.
crazy.
It's crazy.
Trying to find other ones. Yeah.
No, it's crazy. So we had a great time. Really enjoyable. I don't have the same feeling like I'm happy for Burke. He lives in a better area. He's got a good job. He's got a good friend group. Like, I really, really enjoy that. But I don't have the same feeling about California that I did way, way, way back when. Like, when we used to rent a house a month per summer.
Well, it's also just
I don't
changed.
like it. I just don't like it.
It's gone. It's
gone
not
to
as
shitter.
nice as it
It's
used
not.
to be.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
But I think everyone is aware of that too. People who live there.
I don't know why
are
people
also aware
live
of
there.
it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
A lot of Californians we talk to don't want to live there.
Yeah,
a lot. They're not happy with it.
because the price and the safety.
Yeah, but it was good seeing my Burke. He's a good kid. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
But you guys should call each other.
What are we going to talk about? I don't call anyone.
That's not nice.
Why?
You need to call people. You guys need to. That's what you need to do. That this whole
I know. I
phone generation thing. Burke reaches out to me, which is nice.
It's not. I don't think it's a phone generation thing. It's just a me thing. I don't really, but I need to be better about that. Like keeping up relationships.
You should.
Like some friends, I never really text, but it doesn't change our relationship. Like when I see them, even if it's years, it's like, oh, it's right back where it was.
You should. Yes.
Other friends, like we text, on a weekly basis, just like sending, funny stuff that we saw, or like, oh shit, you remember that time? But
that's a different.
I'm not good
too. But
no, I think it's just a me thing. Like you're not good with that either. Do you keep obviously friends that you see here different, but like friends that you don't see on a weekly basis, you don't keep up with them. Brett, Gene Sook, you don't keep up with them.
Gene, I call
how often?
Every 6 weeks. He and I speak.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah, I need to be better.
But I
that.
hear you. Like I don't.
Because it's nice when it happens. Like one of my friends from law school last semester, he transferred. So because he moved back home.
Okay. Where'd he go? Where's he going?
Georgetown.
Okay.
Or GW.
Okay.
Because he's from Virginia.
Uh-huh.
And his girlfriend lives up there, so he's like he didn't want to do long distance, so he wanted to move back home. So he called me the other day, and we talked for like an hour, and it was so nice.
How
and he was
nice
like, "We
is
should
that?
do this more often." I was like, "Yeah, we definitely should." But I know myself, and I know I'm not gonna.
Well, make an effort.
I just
to
know
do
I'm
that.
just not gonna
Make an effort to do that.
I know because it's nice when you
it's
do.
Nice.
Do it. Or like when I went up to New York a few months ago to see my
saw
friends in
all
New York,
those guys.
and we just hung out like multiple nights in a row. Just went to a bar, sat, watched the hockey game, and just hung out and
Wasn't
talked.
it great?
It was like this is so nice. And then we went back to their apartment.
I think women do it better than men.
Yeah.
I agree. Like
Men are not as naturally social.
Well, and we're busy. I don't know. I don't want to speak to anybody at nighttime. I'm both busy during the day. And I got
I
shit
know,
to do.
exactly.
Women are much better. Mom was on the phone with Kim yesterday. Over an hour.
But when you do that with your with a friend, it's so nice.
I don't even know what to say to somebody for over an hour.
Yeah.
An hour. I go, you're still on with Kim, and it's nice. It's not,
But I was just saying that about, you said call your brother, and I was like, what am I going to say to him?
No,
I
you
don't know.
can just say what's going on. How's California? How's
good,
work?
it's good.
That's all right, but still, nice
it's like okay, cool.
But it's still nice to have to speak to.
No,
your
you're right. It's
you can ask
I'm not
him
good at that
what's
stuff.
going on with him. He'll talk. I mean, you got a lot of good things going on in your life. You can share with him. I mean, these are all good things. I think you definitely, you live with your other brother, so it's easy. But eventually, you're not going to live with them. You still got to keep your relationship with your brothers.
Yeah.
You have to. We're a
right.
close family. We speak to our kids all the time. You should be speaking to your brothers.
Yeah, and it is so nice when you do have those things.
Family is the most important thing.
And also just like having a conversation with a good friend is nice. Like when I was in LA,
look, I came in touch with Todd,
yeah.
Gene,
When I was in LA,
Brett.
Right after the engagement, and we had a mini engagement party in LA with our friends. A couple of them, had it at Hannah's parents' house, and then we had a bunch of friends over, and a couple of them stayed till 3, 4 in the morning.
How great is that?
We were talking, it was like, this is great.
Enjoyable.
But,
it's a nice night, right?
Yeah, it is, but I have to force myself to do that, but then I'm happy I did. I have to be better about that. I have to be more appreciative.
Just try to
with
force
that
yourself.
stuff.
Because you like it.
Yeah. I was, this is kind
you
of
should call your brother.
Tangential. Yeah. Semi-related, but it's just been something on my mind. 2-3 weeks ago in law school, there was, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but it's just been something on my mind. I was sitting in the library, and there are study rooms in the library, that you can rent out and have a private study room. So I was sitting at a table outside of one of the study rooms, and some guy rented one of the study rooms, but he was on a Zoom call. And so I could like hear they're not soundproof. I could hear like everything he was saying. And he was on the phone on the Zoom with the therapist.
Oh.
And I definitely shouldn't have been hearing this conversation.
Yeah, but I hear you.
And he was just talking about how his girlfriend just broke up with him. And he definitely, like, I could tell from the conversation, he's like slightly autistic, like definitely socially inept, maybe like a little, you know, not like, you know, cool, nerdy, like maybe doesn't have that many friends. I couldn't gauge all that from like, but that was the vibe I was getting. And he was talking to his therapist about how he's so hurt by this girl and leaving him, and he doesn't know. And I was sitting there, and at first, the first few minutes, I was like, I shouldn't be listening to this. I should move. But then I was so captivated.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad.
Do you want to talk to him?
Well, I felt so bad. But then he was like talking himself out of it. Like he was like, but I know I'll be all right eventually. And it's okay. It's not
okay
the end of the
hurt.
world.
That's good. That's mature, though.
But then I was like, this guy, I don't know. He probably doesn't have any friends. And like the therapist was like, is there anyone you can talk about this? He's like, no, I can't talk to my parents about it. My brother, you know, he said something about like how he could talk to his brother, but he's uncomfortable about it and he doesn't want to, and all these things. And I was like, my heart was hurting for this guy. I felt, and then this.
Did you want to go in and say something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I had class. I saw who he was. Like I saw, because I could see into the room. The short class that I had this week in AI, there were only 12 or 15 people in the class.
And
he was in it.
Did you befriend him?
So I was like, oh, interesting. This guy's in it.
Maybe it's meant to be, right? For you to be his mentor or a friend to help.
Well, so we like chatted just briefly. There's not too much time to chat in class, but he's a very nice guy. He was very not talkative in class, but I just kept looking over to him, and I just kept feeling bad because I was like,
he has no one.
And maybe he does, and I hope he does, but I don't know. I just kept sitting in class thinking like, wow, I have to appreciate so much.
Yes.
What I have.
Yes. Not
because
wood.
Every time I would look at this guy, I'm like,
bad.
I just feel bad.
So
and don't you see, like, and then when you said the guy who's maybe mentally challenged at the election, you know, at the voting booth, and then I was like, oh, these people
hard lives
have these lives, and it's like, and then I have my life.
Yep. Knock on wood.
And the little shit that bothers me or whatever, it's like that's so inconsequential.
Well, first, it's very mature of you to recognize that at your age, number one. Number two is, you know, what I do now, you know, and I've said this to Mom, you know, life is full of so many ups and downs. And as you get older, you realize how short it is. You really do. And you see, look, we have friends getting ill. We have parents that are ill. Or
right, that's another thing where I was thinking about. This morning I woke up thinking about our family friend who is not doing well. And then also this kid. And I was just like, wow, I'm waking up and I have my parents downstairs, my fiance, even though she's not with me right now, she's in LA. And last night I was like bummed that she wasn't here. Right. But then I was like, I still have a fiance. And the only reason she's not here is because she's looking at wedding venues. It's like I have to, you know, sometimes you just have to reorient the way you're thinking about things, because like there are other people that are, that if they were in my shoes, even when I'm not, I mean, I'm feeling fine now, but like even when I'm feeling down or whatever, if they were in my shoes, even when I was feeling down, they would be in such a better place than in where they are.
Right. So what I was saying is that first of all, it's mature and good that you recognize that now, and you have to. And the perception is very important. Don't ever lose that. That's an important.
But sometimes it's hard to.
Let me finish for a second. It's a very important quality. That doesn't mean that you can't have tough times and tough days.
Definitely.
But knowing that you have a support system, knowing you get through it. See, the key is, when people are alone and they're overwhelmed, and that happens to everybody, they don't have a support system, so they don't have somebody helping them through to get to the other side. And once you persevere to get through that other side and you deal with those troubles, you know that you can handle other tough times in life.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is that, you know, we all...
But some people don't realize that.
Why? Because
some people even go through hard times and they don't learn that piece.
But I get that, but that's why I'm saying it's an important thing. It's mature of you that you recognize that. So what I do is that, you know, like we all take care, we try to eat healthy and physical and things like that. I try to every day take a minute or 2 minutes and just appreciate my life and value it. Just take a moment and say, I'm thankful for what I have. I'm appreciative, and look and try to put the positive spin on everything as opposed to the negative. just to make a conscious effort every day. So you don't
You have to
lose it.
really make an effort to do that.
Well, but you just have to take time to do that.
But that's what I mean. Like,
yes.
because.
But I don't think it's an effort if you really think about it. When it's just the effort is taken, putting the time away to do that. So, listen.
No, it's not like a chore because it's a good thing, but it doesn't come naturally. Like, the natural inclination, I think, for most humans is to.
The negative.
Not even the negative, but just like the status quo, like not being grateful or appreciative, just being like, oh, this is my life level. I got to do all this shit.
That's most people, right?
I think that's the default. The default is to just be like,
right, but we're not
this is
like
my
that.
life.
But we're not like that.
But you have to take yourself out a second and be like, wow, this is my life. This is how, think about how great the things are.
But most people are miserable. But listen, I don't live my life, and I'm not saying every day is perfect. That's not what I'm trying to say. I don't live my life passively. I live my life in an active way.
But you have to be active in doing that. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
that's the effort, exactly.
But I don't think it's effort. I think that's what we do. That's what you need to do.
No, but like what we were saying, like with our friends, it's like you have to make the effort
then
to
do
do
it.
that.
That's what I'm saying. But listen, what I do this morning, I got up and ran 5 miles. So don't tell me if you're not saying you.
Right, but that's the effort.
Okay, I get
exactly.
it, but that's part of life. When
Yes.
people are fat or they eat like shit or whatever it is, unfucking believable. When they eat like shit or they complain or okay, no, but I'm up early, fucking working out or running. We're doing these. You have to take the world by the balls. It's just the way it is, and I think that's just. So
and you're the only one like this guy in the therapy session. He kind of he had this part to himself, which made it better. But he like kind of, at least from the conversation I could tell, like he recognized that he is the only one that will be able to like get himself through this. You know, like because at the end of the day, like
you can rely on yourself only.
You're only going to get through. Right, the only way you're going to get through something is if you get through it. No matter how much help you get from your parents and your friends, it's like if you don't let yourself get through something, you won't get through it.
So here's the thing.
So he had that, but you have to do that.
Kudos to that fucking guy. Let me explain the positive of that. Kudos to that fucking guy. One,
I
listen.
felt so bad. For him.
Listen. One, he speaking to his therapist, so he's open to getting help. Huge.
Yeah.
2, you heard him say that I know I'll get through this.
Yeah.
Huge. 3, he's hurt by his girlfriend breaking up, which means he has compassion. Those are huge things. He recognizes it.
Yeah.
4, listen. He's in law school to better his life, so he's obviously he's not a fucking idiot. Okay, those are huge qualities. Those are more. Just hear me out for a minute. Those are more than most people who will wallow in their depression and sadness and become a victim. He's not. I don't
feel bad for him in that regard.
I give that guy a lot of kudos. So don't do that. That's why that spot's fucking ripped. Listen. Okay, I'm just saying, yeah, I'm glad you find it funny. I'm just saying, I look at that kid is a leader. He wants to better his life. He recognizes stuff. He has compassion. He's obviously intelligent. He's in law school. Okay, so those are things.
He's definitely intelligent because he's like a little. Right. I just
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right?
and I like this kid. Like I was talking to him this week, and
now you could find out. You could say to him, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And he could say no, but then you could. That's a good segue for you to try to help him without him ever knowing.
Yeah,
unless he listens to the podcast.
I don't even think he needs help necessarily. It's just when you're going through life, and this happens to me a lot, and I'm sure it happens to you. You go through life, and you just like see someone,
yes,
and you don't know what their story is. You might be totally mistaken in your thought, but you look at them and you're like, oh, I feel bad for them. Like something about them. Yeah, either they have a hard life or they're alone. You feel like they're alone.
Yes.
Or like you're sitting at a cafe and there's like someone who's alone at the cafe, and you can tell that they're just maybe a little lonely, or they don't have friends, and you're just like, oh, and it sucks. But then I guess it makes, and I might just be putting that on this person. They might not have any of that stuff. These people, they might be happier than I am. But I guess the thing is you just have to take that and make it so that you appreciate what you do have.
Value your life, value your friends, value your family, value your fiance. That's what's important. Okay, I'm telling you right now. And your problems, whatever they are your problems, meaning that they're important to you. So when I agree that you could say, well, look at that person, it's much worse. That helps
It
us.
doesn't dismiss it. It's a coping mechanism.
And it's okay. It puts things into perspective.
Right. It helps you go through it. It doesn't make your feelings.
Doesn't take your problem away.
It doesn't dismiss them either or diminish them. It doesn't mean like, oh, your feelings are bullshit.
Correct. And nor should they. Right. But I'm just saying to you, it's a good quality to have. That means you have compassion and you're right. You have a good support system. We're very blessed. We created this world. Health is the most important thing, Bronny, right? Because that we have no control over. But I'm just saying, just, ear towards keep that. I think that's a good thing.
Then the next thought I have, like kind of with this stuff is, like I was saying, oh, it is so great. Like when, like my friend from law school, he reached out to me. He was like, let's catch up. And we talked and it was great. Or like Hannah and I went to a wedding a couple weeks ago of her friends. It was after we recently got engaged, and it was we went to their wedding. But when we went and sat at our seats at the table, there was a note that was written to us. We were like, and it was a handwritten note from that couple congratulating us on our engagement.
How nice is that?
And they printed out, they got a magnet of our engagement picture, and it gave us like a magnet of, so they gave us a gift at their wedding and a handwritten card. And so how
nice is that?
Well, I got that card and I was like, this is so nice.
Meaningful.
That they thought of us
on their
day and went out of their way to be nice to us. And I was like, I'm not like that as a person.
Okay. You have other qualities.
So then the next thought is that, like, do I slowly work my way towards being more like that? Or do I just accept, because do I accept who I am as a person and just appreciate that in my life? Or maybe both? Like, can you ever change? Can you really change who you are
100%.
in aspects like that? Like
100%.
I know I'm not good at keeping up relationships by like outward, like outreach, like making, and I know like I might try and be good at it for like a month, but then I'll just revert to my old ways. Is that me being lazy?
No.
Can I make that change, or do I just accept that and appreciate what I have?
Well, that's your choice. Number one. Number two is that was very beautiful what that person did.
It was.
Okay.
And now I think of them so differently, and I'm like, wow, what a great person. I want to be more like that.
Okay. So a couple things. Number one is it meant something to you and it hit home. So that's a plus. So you recognize it. Two, you could try to be better. Doesn't mean you're going to achieve it all. You don't have to achieve it 100%. You could try to be better. The fact that you became aware of it is huge. And you also remember, when you get married, you have a partner who, let's say, might see things differently than you, might make you better, might make you more whole. So as a couple collectively, you do those things. For example, I might not entertain the way mom entertains or have people at the house because I'm like, I'm just going to watch TV. When mom went out last night for the birthday party, she's like, you should call so-and-so. I go, even if you want to come to prom, I'm like, no, I'm staying home. I want to watch TV. I find that relaxing to me because I'm so busy. So both you will make Hannah better. She will make you better. And you do those things. But one thing you could do is you could at least strive for it.
Yeah.
Whether you accept it down the road is a different story. But if you want to at least try to change things and try to be better, even if you make a little difference, it's still better than yesterday. So,
I don't think I'm bad with that stuff.
No, I'm just saying.
But
there are
certain things where like that people do for me, and I'm like, that's so
I know,
nice.
but that's who they are. They might listen. Everybody's different. It doesn't make it one right or wrong. But if you like that, and you could be a little nicer to a person to make them have a better day, then you just make an effort to do that. Just be a little nice. Just like, for example, I know it sounds silly. We go to vote. There's an elderly couple in front of us before we walk, as we walk into the library, and he's slow. You can tell he's very slow. She goes, "Go around us." So we go around, and it's a good 15 seconds before they get to the door. I waited. I held the door for them. Okay.
Yeah.
Little things like that you can do. It's just little things like that that can make a difference and whatever. And everybody's a different way of showing their niceness and showing their compassion. Whatever is your way, which you're very respectable and this and that, that's the way, whether or not you're strong. For example, my friend calling me up today, the wife, to say, we need to do this, I need the help, whatever. That's my way of helping.
Yeah, and that's stuff feels good for sure.
But that's who we are. Would she call someone who is maybe weaker and not as strong? No, because she needs that strength.
Like
in this
being
time.
the dependable person.
Correct.
So is its own special. Like the friends that I was saying were like, that wrote the card or reached out. That's a special quality. But then also being the dependable friend,
or knowing
that your friends
in a time
can always
of crisis,
count on
a crisis that I need the strength behind me.
Right.
So
That's another
there's
good
positives and right. So it's just.
But it's just nice to like. notice nice things or like good things that people do, good qualities, and I think
your mom.
be careful of
I
that.
think your mom has all those abilities, and I think Hannah has all those abilities. I think that there are certain people. I don't think you and I will ever be.
Yeah, I might be more, but
correct.
Like,
I'm not completely compassionate like mom is.
Yeah,
but I take care of the people I care about, and I will always help those people that do need help. Like I will see somebody if there's a stranger in the underdog, I will go protect that person.
Yeah.
So we are who we are, but at least we found good women that could make us better. And
I do have that dependability thing. Like
yes.
Hannah texted me yesterday. She's been wedding dress shopping all week, and yesterday she I guess found the one that she wants. So she told me, and it's been like weeks that she's been looking at stuff, and she kept texting me like, "Oh, I wish you could help me with this."
And
I'm like, "I can't help you," and she kept being like, "Would you want something like this?" And I'm like, "Don't even tell. Like, I'm not going to help you with this." So she decided yesterday, and she texted me. She said, this was the first big decision that I've made in the last 2 years without your help. Yeah. And I was like, whoa, that's weird. But then I was like, I guess that at first I was like, that's not good.
Yes, it is.
But then I was like, oh, that made me feel good, I guess. Like, it's nice to know that she relies on me for her decisions, for her big decisions.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to rely on her?
You know, it was nice. At first I was like, no, you should make your own decisions. But then I was like, no, it's nice that she relies on me for that stuff.
That's what a relationship's about.
She said, this was the first decision I've made in 2 years.
But that's what a relationship. I think that's beautiful. I think that's fucking great.
Yeah. No,
seriously,
that was like a quality where it's like, oh, okay, she depends on me.
She can always rely on you.
I like that aspect of myself.
Like mom always knows I give her a comfort and safety level, a protection and financial that she knows that she is taken care of. And that's an important thing for a woman.
Yeah.
You know how many of our friends that are our age, Bronson, that if the men die, we have a lot the other way too, don't get me wrong, I'm just saying, but if the men die, the women are not taken care of. They have no idea what's going on. They don't have the financial security. You know how hard that is for a woman, it's a middle-aged woman, not have the security of not knowing what's going to happen if the man's not around. That's an important thing, and a woman should have security.
Oh, definitely.
Both financial and protection, physical protection, and no one's going to take their house. They don't have to worry about getting remarried for a man to take care of them. You know, these middle-aged single women, they need a man to take care of them because their men did not set them up right, or maybe shaming those women for being stupid. But that's just an upbringing thing. It's I was taught that by my dad. You were taught that by your dad. And that's what you do.
It's also just, I think, the natural inclination that men and women just kind of naturally gravitate towards.
But understand, but men are, if I didn't teach you that, you wouldn't know.
Yeah. No, true.
And if a woman did not ask the right questions, or if the man, listen, you know how many women don't even ask their husbands what the deal is, or they don't know where things are, and I go, shame on the woman. If the man should either tell them and give them a sense of security, the woman should ask questions.
Yeah. Another thing that I just thought of
and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Another quality that I guess I appreciate in myself and our relationship is that and at first when this happens, it annoys me. It's funny because at first it annoys me when this stuff happens.
You jump to the gun too quickly.
You do too.
Yeah,
I get that from you. I think I think it's just our inclination. Maybe our first initial reaction.
Always say no. You're better off.
Is like, ugh.
Always say no.
Is an annoyance is the first initial reaction, and then it's like, wait, what? Why would I be annoyed by that? I actually like that, and I don't like that I do that.
I like mom depending on me. I like mom. Yeah, listen, mom, what she's going through right now, and I'm taking care of her. I like that. I enjoy taking care of her. It gives me a purpose and lets me show how much I love you, and that's what I'm here for, and I want to protect you and take care of you. I like that in me. I want to take care of people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that's what this is. So in certain situations, I can't think of anything specific, but
and Bryce takes care of Bryce takes care of Julia too. That's an important quality.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I think a woman wants that in a man, and I like that I have this.
If you need it to do that.
So I don't know, the examples that are coming to my mind, and this happens a lot, situations like this, if we're at a restaurant and let's say we walk in a restaurant, we sit down, and maybe we don't want to be there anymore, right? Sometimes that happens. You look at the menu, you're like, I don't want to be here. Correct. But you're already seated. And Hannah would never get up and leave herself.
Right, but you're a bloom.
But she'll say to me, I want to leave. Can you tell them?
Yes.
And at first I'm like, no, why are you getting me to do your stuff? But then it's like,
you're an idiot.
No. I think that internally.
Okay.
I don't say that
Fair
out loud.
enough. Okay.
And then of course I'll always do that. Or like if we're at a party or something and she's like, oh, I want to leave. Like, let's go home.
Just
I'm
leave.
tired or whatever.
Right.
She would never she would never be like, okay guys, we're leaving. Like she just wouldn't do that. So she asked me, can you get us to leave?
And you're like, yes.
And there's so many different scenarios that I'm sure,
understand.
like
I
things like
understand.
that,
Yep.
where she like will ask me to do the hard thing, or like the slightly annoying thing, where I might be like, oh, I'm a little bit of the bad guy here.
That's okay.
But she relies on me to do that, and I like that. I like that aspect, and I like that I will do that. Like I don't really care. Mm-hmm. And then I also like that she knows that I will do that, and she might want to do it, but she doesn't have the
which is okay. It's better
strength
she'd rather be softer and sweeter. Yeah. I think that's a good quality in a woman. And listen, if we need to be the dick, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, and I don't give a fuck with it. You, by the way, you don't care what people think about you.
No,
I don't either.
That's why I like that aspect about myself,
and that's an important quality. You don't give a fuck what people think about you, and I think that's
certain people. I care what my friends think about me, and my family thinks about me.
Right, but I'm taking that away.
Yeah.
Right? I agree. My friends and family. But if you got to leave a restaurant, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I'm not.
But I do think it's important to draw that distinction, because I think a lot of people say, you shouldn't care what anyone thinks about you. No. And it's like, no, I think that's really stupid, because I hate that people, not hate, but I don't think it's a good quality when the people are like stuck in their ways, and they don't let anyone, like they're like, I'm this way and no one can influence it. But it's like, if your family and your close friends should be able to influence your character, because if you're doing something that's not right, and your friends and family tell you, like, you should realize that's not right. But if strangers tell you, it's like, I don't give a fuck about you.
I agree. No, family, I'm carving out the family and close friend thing when I meant that.
Yeah, I know you are. I was just saying that.
All right. Well, this was good, Ronnie.
Yeah.
This was a nice episode.
Yeah.
I love you.
We didn't do any of the politics stuff.
I'm proud of you.
Next week is the election.
Listen, I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
I love you. You got a lot of great things going in your life. It's all happy stuff. I'm so excited for you. All of my boys, knock on wood, poo-poo, are doing well. And this is the moment where I'm going to reflect to everybody out there how blessed, as long as you have your health, you really got to realize how important life is and how short it is. And just try to be the best version of yourself, knowing you're going to have a couple of step backs, knowing you're going to fuck up, knowing you're going to make mistakes. And just
be appreciative.
Just be appreciative and choose. If the question, it's not about being right or wrong. It's a question of fighting or not fighting. Don't fight. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Not worth it. Seriously. I'm a fighter by nature. I have so much for finishing. I'm a fighter by nature. I don't like fighting with people I care about. I don't enjoy it.
I know it's the natural first inclination. That's the problem. It's like the nature versus nurture. You have to, because I'm the same way in a lot of regards.
I'm a fighter.
The first initial reaction is like defensive and like to get sensitive and defensive.
Yeah, but I
you
like
are sensitive, as am I. We don't think we are, and we're not sensitive to strangers.
You're right. We are sensitive,
but to our friends and family, like we are sensitive. Certain things that like family members,
we're like
if
hard
we say
shell on the outside but soft on the inside,
and like family when we say things to you, it like will really affect you, and vice versa. Like family, if you guys say things to me, it'll really affect me. So like we are sensitive to family, not to the outside world at all.
Right.
And we also are both defensive. Initially, like if someone says something in a critique or critical or just like, not complimentary way, maybe to me or you, I think both of us are like, nah, fuck you. Like, no. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Or like I get quiet and you get like, no, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about. But I think then,
fuck you don't know what you're talking about.
Then if we think about it more,
right, we day later.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like, how can we get to that part the day later right away?
Or maybe, you know how you do? We just bite our lip and think and not respond so quickly.
Yeah, that's what I do. I get quiet, but then I wallow in the quietness and I'm like, and I think that in my mind. I'm like, but then I come through.
That's okay.
But that day sucks.
All right, but you'll get
and I don't want to feel. Okay. But then that day, do you need the rainy days to feel the sun?
No, but yes.
Like, do I need that day to then appreciate the next day?
Okay. Sometimes yes, and it could, if it takes you a day to process, that's not so bad as long as you process and come through. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like with your mom, when it comes down, if we fight or argue, we don't really argue. If we fight or disagree, I say to her, I go, look, I love you. I don't want to fight with you. I love you. I don't want to take away time, the limited time we have in our life left. I want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, Bronny, I do love you.
Love
I'm
you
proud of
too.
all you guys. Thanks, everybody, for 200 episodes. We appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And hopefully I'll have another 200, huh, Bronny?
Yeah, damn.
All right. You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me.
The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.